is Juneteenth, June 19, 2021, and it is 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're here for our live sew and chat. Today's project is going to be the Charlotte Sometimes quilt that I put aside to work on other projects. So today I'm going to probably try to put some starch on these, I guess, and because I can't remember if I starched them or not, and maybe put some rows together here. So that's what we're going to start. I just pulled out my blocks. I'm going to count and see how many I have. Should have 9 blocks, I guess. Let's see. Okay, I got 7 blocks. Let me recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have no idea. I just pulled this out the container. So I have no idea where my other blocks are. Let's see if they're in here. I don't see them. Okay, I remember needing to, I had sewed the last couple blocks and needed to press them. That was before I switched my iron out. These are all the Hancock fabrics here. So I don't know. Mystery, mystery. Let me look in this container. No. So this is how we're starting tonight out. We're missing a couple of blocks. It's not up under here, is it? Nope. All right, we'll figure that out later, I guess. We'll keep moving forward. Also pull you all up on the phone so I can read the chat comments. And also, I do want to press these, so let me see if I can put some starch on these. One of them has a sashing on it. So I can let this sit while I read the comments. And I don't even have the mic on. Sitting here this whole time, didn't even put the mic on. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there before I put it on. Sorry, guys. All right. Okay, too far that way. There we go. Hopefully everybody had a great Saturday today. I had first official, I guess, my Quilt Guild meeting where we do the retreat in March. We met for the first time in a year. Some of them met in April, but I wasn't vaccinated then, so 2 of us didn't make it to the April meeting. But we had a great time today. And then we started out with a great day and turned into thunderstorms, thunder showers. So we had to cut the meeting short, but it was a very productive meeting. It was great seeing people. Had a great time. I was just sad that we had to end so early. But other than that, great. Sounds like they're doing fireworks outside. It's been going on for a while. So, all right. Cut off stuff on my phone. All right, so let's go back up to the top here. Just going to start reading chat comments. People start coming in at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Joyce Baker says, waiting for everyone to join. Stephanie early, hello, Joyce. She came at 8:39. 8:45, Maddie Barnum comes in, says, hello, T and everyone. Got my package and the fabric. Thank you so much. I have pressed it and ready to use. Yes. Joyce says, Stephanie, she had to step away at 8:52. Betsy Lightning's here, says, good evening all. Happy Saturday. Hi, Betsy. Helena Carter says, hi, T and all quilters. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Teresa McCormick says, good evening, T and T quilters. Glad to be here. Mario D says, hello from hot Montreal. High 80s again, T. My t-shirt was handed over to Canada Customs on the 17th. At least it's not lost. So at least it's moving. That is just so crazy that it's been like 6 weeks to 2 months maybe in the USA. So I'm thinking it had to do with something with Canada Customs, which is so weird. Remo JS is here saying good evening. Barbara Polk says hi, everyone. Kevin the Quilter is here, says evening, Miss Sweet Tea and all Tea Quilters. Deborah Quilts is here saying hello, Tea and all Tea Quilters. Brenda Foley says good evening from Kentucky. Katrina says hello, Tea and Quilting friends. Mary says, I got to meet Eric Oda yesterday. Yay. That's awesome. Judy says hello, Tea and Quilters. Remo says Tea and Quilters, the queen is here. Thumbs up, everyone. Sandra G. Agger says, good evening, T and T Quilters from very hot Bay Area, California. Betty Harris also says, hello to everyone. Deborah Sims Brown says, hi, T and everyone from Maryland. Beverly Bell Aiken says, hi, T and T Quilters. Sharon Lewis says, hi, T and all and Quilters from Washington, D.C. Let's see. Sandra says, I thumbs up. Cheryl Clute says, good evening, T and everyone. Mary says, I heard Ellen Campbell was in the ICU with COVID. Yes, she did text me, and she really didn't say whether I could share that or not, but somebody else has put it there. But she is in there, so just keep Ellen Campbell in your prayers. She is back home because she was out of state visiting, helping out her daughter. So I did ask her, was she home? So she is back home. So, but she's, last I chatted with her yesterday, she was still in the hospital. Quilty Graham says, hi, T and T Quilters. New to chat, but not the channel. Well, thank you for joining us in the chat room. And just thinking that a lot of people don't understand that you have to have a YouTube or Google account in order to chat with us or to leave comments on videos. I got a lot of people that have been watching me for years but have never been able to comment or chat and hadn't figured out why. And that's because you don't have an actual Google account. You have to have that. And then you can have your logins for your Facebook. They can be the same or different. And then you can have your account for YouTube and any other Google products. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to comment and wondering why you don't see the chat box. Damali J says, hello, Miss T and Quilters. I hope everyone stayed cool today. Teresa Jesuit says, hi, T and Quilting family. Making sure you can do the thumbs up. So thank you so much. My brother Ray is here. Says, hi, sis and everyone. Melinda C says, hello, T and Quilters. Diane 57's here. Says, hi, T and Quilting friends. So she looked like her device situation is fixed as well. Stephanie says, hey, T and everyone. She came back. We talked about you earlier, Stephanie. Being in here at 8:39, I think. Maria Mayer says, hello, everyone from hot Houston. And Deborah says, T, I received my package on Thursday. Thanks. I may not stay long watching the Olympic tryouts. I didn't know that was on tonight. I do like the Olympics. Let me see. I really like swimming and gymnastics in the summer stuff. So let's see if I can put this on here and find it real quick. That's a shame, isn't it? Okay. So I can at least see some of it. Oh, this is the track. I do like track too. So, my screen turned green. Like, what's up with that? Okay, so that's channel 4. It's giving me a picture on channel 5. Okay, there it is. But I'm not going to watch it, but at least it'll be on when I get off so I can remember that it's on and start looking at it. I haven't been paying attention to regular television at all. So thanks for that, Deborah. We got Joyce Baker saying hi, T and T Quilters. Bonita Nancy's here, says hey, Miss T and everyone. And I'm thinking that my phone is not working because my comment stops at 9:04. But Brenda says I got to spend 3 days with my daughter I had not seen in 3 years. Oh my gosh, now that is truly awesome. So I'm going to go out of this live chat, and I'm hoping I don't have to restart. It let me back in, so that's good. Mario is also reminding people to hit the thumbs up, please. Brenda Polk says, hey, Ray, do you quilt? I notice you are always here. I understand T is your sister. He does not quilt. He does. He will, like if he needs a button on something or if he needs something hemmed or something like that on his clothing, he will do that kind of stuff. But he is not a quilter or a sewer. He does it out of necessity. So, but that's cute. He's just supporting his sister. Has no intention of even starting to quilt. June Hansen says, hi, T and everyone. Norma Ozia says, good evening, quilt friends. Sending prayers. Ella Odom says, good evening, Miss T and T Quilter from hot California. Janice Miller says, good evening, T and Quilters. Beautiful day in Southern California. Yes. Darlene Crosby says, hello all. I made it. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. Vicki Lemire. Ellen put a short video on Facebook. Okay, so she did let people know. Janet Mackerel's here saying good evening, T and Quilters. And people are sending prayers for you, Ellen. Vivian Cavey's here saying hi, T and everyone. Mario had to leave. He'll be right back. Diane says, T, I wish I could turn my tablet up higher. Can barely hear you. Let me just check and make sure that my volume on my tablet is up. And it is not. It's my fault. Okay, so that was my fault. My tablet on my tablet's volume was down. I had not noticed that. I have never turned my tablet on the volume on my tablet down. So hopefully that fixed it. And thank you, Diane, for letting me know. C-Rex is saying, good evening, T and Quilters. Hi, C-Rex. Barbara Polk says, thank you. You're so welcome. Amelia Rubio says, hello, Miss T and quilting friends. Hope you all had a wonderful day. I had a very good day. My daughter came for the day, and we had a wonderful time. Let's see. Damali J say, that's a good brother to support his sister. Brother, you rock. Yes, he is very supportive. Yeah, so I'm apparently missing 2 blocks, so I'll figure that part out later. I also know that I have 2 different kinds of little 9 patches here. So I guess I need to figure that out too before I start sewing anything. This is the other way. One of them has 3 orange in the middle and one has 3 pinks in the middle. Well, something. Yeah, like going diagonally through. One of them has all orange. The other one has the all pinks. You can barely see the difference, but all pinks going through. And I guess I should make sure I turn them all the same direction too. That will probably help too, right? I have no idea what I'm doing because it's been a while and I'm missing 2 blocks. It's on this board. I just saw it on a design board. Just a minute. I don't want anything to fall. Something is sitting on top of it. One of my block containers, so I didn't want to just start pulling it. So yay to finding my blocks, right? Cut this on so I can press those blocks when I get there as well. So let me know what projects you all are working on today. While I was at the meeting, I was doing some binding work. Seems like I've been binding this one quilt for a year. It is my least favorite job, and I have about maybe 3 or 4 quilts that have the binding on, like when I was on my long arm, but I haven't connected the ends and I haven't made the label. So I'm kind of stuck in that phase where I just quilted some stuff the last time I quilted for me and never finished those off. So, and Diane says, you're welcome, T. Jennifer Mizards here says, hi, T and friends. It's good to see y'all tonight. Hi, Jennifer. Angela Stringer says, can hear but cannot see you. I'm hoping you can see me now. I was out of the screen probably when you came in. Thanks, Diane. She's saying, yay, she found them, talking about the blocks. And then June Hansen says, I've been doing crumb blocks. Now, that's good. I love doing crumb piecing, especially when I don't want to think about what project I'm actually going to be working on or think about any kind of serious quilting is nice. So, and I got some messages, but I'll have to do those later. So, all right, so we're waiting on that to heat up. And all I ever did was put this one row back together. So I've got 3 more rows that need to be sewn together. So that's where we are. At this point, I'm just sewing sashing in between the rows, and then also the sashing has cornerstones, which are these little 9-patch blocks, and they go in a particular spot. Quilty Graham says, working on a quilt for one of my grandsons. That's awesome. Remo's working on my sister-in-law's birthday quilt. That's good. She's got it cut. I think that's the one where she was doing the rail fence blocks. Sheila Willis says, good evening, T and everyone from sunny Tennessee. Hi, Sheila. Janice says, I'm on my first 5 twisted log cabin blocks. Yay! Somebody's doing the project. That's awesome. So, while we're waiting on that, I think I had pressed these 2. They're on my design board. We'll go ahead and start with these. So, on my block, the pink is going diagonally through. Have to make sure I sew them correct, you know, so they're all going the same orientation. It's been so long since I've worked on these, and I did not oil this machine. So let me break this thread. It's been since Tuesday since I've been in here. I have not sewn anything else. So let me put that there. And grab this Bernina oil and at least oil from the top. And just clean it up a little bit. Take this thread out the needle so when I put the oil on there and turn the flywheel, it won't oil the thread too. Just to make sure I got some on here because it's been sitting. Otherwise, it's going to be really loud. All right. Clean off my needle shaft while it's down. All right, I see a piece of green thread. I don't even know. I guess it come off from one of the blocks I was sewing because I haven't sewn with the green thread. Just a little spot. Okay, let's put this back. and thread it. All right, so I'll just sew this seam so we can see if this starting to make some noise behind me. And I do have water. I'm like, I didn't even check the water level. um, I have not done any quilting. I was supposed to get, quilts on my frame. So tomorrow I need to do that. I was getting website orders, and then I also had t-shirts that I needed to make. Got all the stuff for the t-shirts put up, and then my mom calls and says, can you make me a Juneteenth shirt? They're having something at church where that's what they're supposed to wear. And I had to pull all that stuff back out again. I tend to do things in batches so that I'm working on the same thing at one time. So, yeah. I do need to, I talked to her, but I didn't get a chance to tell her that when she needs t-shirts in the future, she needs to at least give me a week. I don't mind making them, but I need more time. This is not a good seam. I remember I didn't cut these fabrics, and some of them are just not, um, some of the pieces are just not cut to size correctly. And I don't think that they were die cut. I think this is something that she had put up prior to buying her die cutting stuff, so it's not like perfectly cut. And this fabric is super thin. So Janet says that she finished free motioning my quilt today and done the binding. Quilt is done. Yes, that's what my goal is, but lately it hasn't been happening. I got a lot of quilt tops I finished. I shared those with some of the ladies in the quilt group. Got a lot of that done, but no finished quilts. For myself, anyway. I've done some quilting for others, but I don't have any finished quilts. I have been getting contacted a lot for going back into the quilt guilds to do quilt lectures and workshops and things like that. So I'm working with the guilds to see when they want to start doing that. So now I know why this is why this stitch funny, because the underneath pieces weren't quite straight. I've been making adjustments into my sewing for some of the seams when I was making the blocks. And I didn't notice that when I put it on. I wasn't paying attention. So we're going to pull this back and put some pins in here so I don't have to do this again. Because it's just not, the edges aren't matching. That's why. Put a few pins in here. Okay. Mary says, boy, that Simone Biles is so awesome and going strong at the ripe old age of 23, right? She's almost nearing retirement. That's sad, isn't it? um, Diane's putting the final border on Tom's Quilt of Valor. That's pretty cool. Teresa says that is such a pretty quilt. Thank you. Katrina says, sorry everyone, on the quilts that I shared on Facebook, I'm not using any patterns because I don't know how to read them. Plus, Shari said, I can play with her scraps only. Sorry for any confusion. Deborah says, finish the top for my sister's quilt, now working on swap blocks. That's pretty cool. Katrina says, I'm just trying to make more quilt blocks one-handed. Claudette Fettis came in. Hi, Claudette. She says, hello, T and everyone. Dolores Phelps says, good evening, T and everyone. I missed seeing you all at the quilt convention on Friday. I didn't make it to the quilt convention. I did post in the Facebook group that I wasn't going to go. I just been having difficulty sleeping at night, like being up 36 plus hours straight. And I'm just laying in the bed, looking at the ceiling. Sometimes I go ahead and cut the television on, might watch a Netflix series or something like that. But just body right now don't want to sleep, which is the craziest thing. And then, you know, when I'm trying to do something, of course, I'm ready to take a nap, right? Is that Zayas is here saying, that's really efficient to make them in batches. Yeah, she's talking about the twisted log cabin blocks. You're right. And Diane says, it's okay, T, you got this. So yeah, so I just repin this, and I'm gonna go back and now stitch where it went off. Put some pins in this stuff. Hold it in place so I wouldn't do the same thing again. Got down to the bottom, I noticed that my seam was only like 1/8 of an inch in. So that's much better. Let me press these blocks I got here. I put a little sizing on them just to, like I said, this was already pre-cut. So I wasn't able to starch and put fabrics to starch to get the fabrics a little stiffer. And these K-Facet fabrics are pretty thin. So I just wanted to put a little starch on these blocks. They don't have to be perfectly flat or anything. Because the quilt top I have to be pressed at the end. And I'm working in such a small space, so we'll do that. I tried to come home and take a nap. Once I got home from, I had to stop at my mom's and drop her t-shirt off in the thunderstorms. I got rain about 2 minutes before I got to her house, and then I had come on home, and then it was really raining on my ride home from her house to my house. So, but I tried to get a nap thinking, okay, it's raining outside. I normally sleep good in the rain. No can do. And since I'm not like fusing anything, and this is just cotton fabric, I don't have to really wait for this to beat on this steam press. Just using it to heat stuff up. Now this block has a sashing on it. Got a couple more to do here, and then I'll be back to reading your comments. Make sure I put all of these in the same orientation. I got strings everywhere off of this K-Facet stuff. Hopefully this starch will help hold them down or something too. All right. So just in case, this is the block here. And I'm just putting sashing in between the blocks, sewing those rows together. And then I'm also doing a sashing row with cornerstones with the smaller little 9-patch units that I have. So that's what's going on here. So I have one block behind me, one row that has the row and the cornerstones. That's one of the cornerstones there. So I have that done, and I'm working on getting the other rows sewed, but I'm also okay for just talking too. And Diane saying, laughing out loud at me because she says her body wants to sleep all the time. And she says she starched everything. Mario's back. Rhonda says, hi. Rhonda Barlow says, hello, T and everyone. Hi, Rhonda. Welcome. And Mario says, beautiful block. You're so, thank you so much. Maria says, I've done 5 twisted log cabin blocks. That's cool. So she's working on them too. Multigram says, I sympathize with you. I've had insomnia for over 40 years. The harder you try to sleep, the more awake it seems you become. And yeah, and that's exactly what's happening here. It's like I'd be so tired thinking I'm going to go to sleep. As soon as I get myself situated to do some sleeping, by that time, I'm no longer having the sleeping feeling. And then it's just waste of time being there. But I try to at least rest the body anyway. And sleep is real important. I do know that. But the reason why I ended up bringing that up is because that's why I refused to do a one-day trip to the quilt show, because it would have been a 5-hour drive to and from. And I feel like I would have made it there with no problem. And then coming home, especially when it got dark outside, I would have had some difficulties probably getting back. And I just did the safety thing and just decided I'm not going to do that, since I didn't have anybody that I could take with me to help with the driving. So, and my husband, he went to one quilt show with me, and it was so many people. He said he can't handle it. He's claustrophobic. He can't have a lot of people like that close to him. He couldn't handle it, so he doesn't want to go. Jennifer says, just added a border to my first quilt of Valor. Whoop. Yes. That's nice. And Molly says, I'm sewing 5 strip units from my jelly roll in hopes to subcut them into 9-inch blocks for the fence rail quilt or basket weave quilt. Wish me luck. Yes. And I think somebody asked me that question, and then all of a sudden, I think what some people can confuse terms, but when you start using shading, I think somebody was doing like 2 darks on the outside and a light in the middle, and they called that the basket weave rail fence. And I think people, you can start to get that confused with what is a basket weave block. To me, basket weave is a whole nother different ball game than a fence rail. But I do understand why they were using that terminology now, so it makes a little bit more sense to me. D. Gray says, I have the same problem sleeping. The doctor told me to get gummy melatonin and take 2, and they do help me fall asleep. So that's good. Because I will not take anything like sleeping pills and stuff like that, because I have such a low tolerance for meds. I'll sleep the whole day then if I take something like that. Okay, so when we're sewing these, making sure I did this one that I already had put the sashing on. The sashing is always, the pink's always to the left. And I guess since these blocks are not lining up perfect, they're just, see, look at this. This piece of fabric here is bigger. So I don't know if the block is smaller because of the resizing. But now I need to measure this. I don't want to make it fit if it's too big, Should be 15 and a half. So yeah. So when you're dealing with a lot of little pieces and then pieces weren't cut right in the first place, just need to make sure you know where it is that what you're putting in and how much stretch and all of that you're doing. So I'm going to put the big piece on the bottom, and I'm going to have to pin these because when I'm adding on a piece that's bigger than what my previous unit is, I want to make sure that I'm evenly spacing it. And I want to make sure I'm sewing on the lines that are all the same size, not the, see, I had to reduce, my block got reduced a little bit because of how I've been sewing, but now I'm going to bring it back, make it fit without the puckering. And I'm already hot from this, this steam press behind me. I had put my fan on low, so now I got it on high. So I'm gonna make sure that when I do this, I'm evenly spacing that extra back in. Yep. That means you may have to use pins, so. And I want to make sure I'm lining up with the smallest part of my piece block. So let me just go ahead and pin a few of these because I'm going to be needing to do that. See, it's been a little while since I sewed that one, and I kind of forgotten what I was doing. So let's check the piece, see how much bigger it is. It's not much on this one. Just like an 1/8 of an inch on this one. That's just regular sewing, right? I keep wanting to look straight in the middle of the camera, and I keep forgetting you got to look at the camera on the iPad. You can't look center. Pull it and stretch it and then pin it. Mario says, Jennifer, I just made several Quilts of Valor blocks. I should go back to them. Dee says, I have the same, oh, I read that one already. Diane says, Laugh Not Loud T, promise him something he wants if he goes and try to enjoy the show. My husband likes television, like sports and bowling, and he's not doing it. He is not doing it. He is not doing it. I didn't even mention to him that I had the show because, yes, he did. He did ask me, wasn't I supposed to go somewhere with Kevin on Friday? That's right. He did ask me. And I told him that Kevin couldn't make it and that I wasn't going to drive it by myself. So, yeah, he did ask me. So I did tell him. But he asked me when I should have been on the road. It's like, I don't think so. So, I got 1, 2, 3 with the sashing. This will make 4. It seems like I'm hearing thunder again, like it might be raining. First I was hearing fireworks, and now it might be raining again. I can't remember if Deborah Quilts was in here. Did she come in here? Or is she sleeping? She might be tired. We was at her house. Because I sure didn't. Oh yeah, she is here. Okay. She says hello, T&T Quilters. I said she might have fallen asleep on us, but she's in here. I forgot. Rhonda says, if I have difficulty sleeping, I close my eyes and don't open them. Keep them closed, and I'm asleep sooner than later. And I've tried that. I think my brain's just overactive or something. Because it's not even stressful stuff. I can be thinking about the colors for a quilt I'm about to do. But your body don't know the difference between like good stress and bad stress. So I'm like, I'm just excited about something, and then it's like in my head, and then I can't sleep. Nora 22,000 says, hi there. Happy Juneteenth. Yes. Oh, Mario's giving you all the link. If you're new here, haven't joined the Facebook group, I just pinned that message for you. Diane says, tell him you will go bowling with him if he goes to the quilt show. He ain't going. I know my husband. He ain't going. Cynthia Shea says, good evening to all from Chicago. Deborah says, no sleep for me. Looking for my jar bags. Yes. In 2017 or 18 or something, I gave my group 2 charm packs. One was a regular 5-inch charm, and then the other one was the mini charm pack. And we were supposed to do something with those. I gave them to them for Christmas one year, so we're supposed to have them back by the next December with something done with the charm pack. It didn't have to be anything fancy. It was just do something with them. Well, we didn't bring them back the next year. We didn't bring them back the year after that. We still have not brought them back. We even last year made a new date to have them done by the December meeting of last year, and they still weren't done. So today we talked about that, and we are going to now try to see if we can have them done by our next retreat, which is next May. So now only one person brought them today. She showed them so we could get the information so we know what we're looking for. And so now our goal is we've got to find them and make something with them. But I told everybody we'll probably find them and lose them again before we make anything with them. But the next time I come across them, I'm just going to do something really simple with 2 charm packs, a regular size and a mini, and get this project done, because this is ridiculous. We are a hot mess. And Deborah's looking for hers. She had hers at one point a couple of years ago when we said we were going to have them ready last year. And now she can't find hers. So we're just having fun. We're juggling with these charm packs. So Diane says, happy Juneteenth Day to all those who celebrate. Nora says, I made a quilt top for it, the Stronger Together one from the Fat Quarter Shop. That's pretty cool. I have to look at that. I don't know what that one is. I've heard of it, I think, but I can't picture it right now. She says trying to get it sandwiched now. This is my 3rd quilt at Diane 57. That's nice. Okay. So that's just 4. 5 and 6. I'll put sashing on 6 of them for right now. Go ahead and make them and put them in your car. What am I making in my car? Or whose car? Stephanie says insomnia sucks. The big one. So just like UT, I don't have to be a worry or bad stress. It could be any and everything for me. So I'm not the only one now that will keep me up too. Yeah. So it's not even anything serious, and I'm up there laying there like, are you really thinking about this? It doesn't make any sense. Couple more pins, and here I am using the pins all the way over here, and I got pins right there. See, that's what I do. I'm so used to going over there. I'm not used to having my little workstation right here that I put here. And I'm left-handed. It makes more sense for me to have my pins on the left side, but it's not working right now because I'm still pulling them from the right. Just close that down so it don't cut off, so when I'm ready to press these sashings, it'll be hot. I'm just going to do one more just to see. Here I am short again. Try to put that in seam allowance. Okay, Mario's giving you all the link to the Stronger Together pattern on the Fat Quarter Shop. Thank you, Mario. Darlene says, I go to bed when I can't hold my eyes open any longer. Otherwise, I'm wide awake, tossing and turning. And I do know that it's important to get sleep for your just for, you know, brain functioning, healthy brain functioning. So it's not like I'm trying to stay up. I'm a night person anyway. So it's not like I'm trying to stay up and not get any sleep. That's not what I'm trying to do. But that's what's happening anyway. So I may have to sew this one on the wrong side. Here I go pulling them pins again. I'm just not getting it. I'm gonna pull them out. Make myself use these pins over here. Sometimes I just stated it and still did it. So sometimes you got to do things over to make yourself change your habit. Work twice as harder, and then it's like, oh, I don't want to do that, so I'll pull the right pins. Trying to make sure I get the fullness in the middle. All right. So we're going to get this quilt top up to size here. I think I have enough pieces to sew at least 2 rows for sure. May not have the 3rd row with the sashing, but and then what do? I put my pins over here in the wrong pin cushion. I'm just determined today, right? This is too funny. I got particular pins. They're glass head pins, heat sensitive pins, but they're not the same type. That is funny. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. I think I do have enough to do all of them. We shall see. All right. What I am going to do is, since I'm using a steam press, is I'm going to use my wooden iron and I'm going to just press these over instead of just going over there and straight pressing it down. Just pressing toward the sashing. So that's one. Just sit it here until I get there. Just to put a little memory of where it's supposed to fold. Seam press will handle the rest. Okay. Oh, okay. She says I was talking, that was Diane says I was talking about the 5-inch block your kid keeps putting off. Yeah. I was like, huh? And she said, go ahead and make them. Right, I'm going to make it. I don't think I'll lose a whole quilt, but for some reason I'm having difficulty keeping them out, those torn packs out. Lizette says, I'm spending time with Jack. Not fun. Yeah, she's talking about Jack the Ripper guy. She says, I pieced a whole quadrant wrong of a carpenter star top. Yep. Betsy says, I'm working on the horizontal sashing for the Wanda quilt by GE Designs. Going to do the vertical sashing tomorrow. That one has cornerstones that scare me. Wow. I have a couple of GE Design patterns, but I don't really follow a whole lot with quilting because I'm just so busy. So Sometimes I don't even get to even read the emails, but I know they have some fantastic designs. Deborah says, found them in a large plastic tub under my long arm. I don't know how they got in there. One of those many days of cleaning. One more to press with my wooden iron. I'm hoping I can just close this lid on them. I'm going to try anyway. Give them a little steam and see if they stay there. It's worth a try. This is lazy pressing. So I'm glad you found yours. I haven't, of course, even started looking for mine. Chocolate treats here. It says chocolate gold foiled coins to everyone. Been missing everyone. Welcome back. Yep, did okay. Pressed them all at one time. Mary saying to Nzinga, take a deep breath and let it out. You don't have to hand quilt. You can tie your quilt or space out your quilting by 3 inches or so. Don't be so perfect because no one is perfect. I must have missed the comment where she was doing hand quilting. So congratulations on doing some hand quilting. And I agree with Diane. Just do, you can make it simple. Simple quilts have won quilt shows as well because of the, the work that was put into it. So just, do you and take your time. The Wanda quilt is awesome. The cornerstones aren't as hard as you think. She's talking to Betsy. All right, so now we're just gonna sew these into pairs because we only got 3 blocks in a row. Pretty simple, but I've got a pen and we're gonna use the right pen, so I'm gonna talk about it so I don't go over there and grab the wrong pens, right? That's how you do it. So I'm basically lining up my edges first, and I'm pinning like 2 inches away so I know that the ends of my block isn't going to pull where I'm doing this, making it fit, and then I pull and get the middle part. Put another pin. And just for principle, I'm just going ahead and adding another pin. I don't think I need it, but if I'm going to pin, I may as well do it right. Because it's still, this is where the stretch is, so I may as well go ahead and make sure that stretch is between both of those pieces. So if you're gonna pin, do it right. And I still got one on my machine. Oh, this is a thread from when I first started. Got both the seam ripper out of its container and the press out of its spot. It's not going to help me keep it from getting buried if I don't put them back where they belong, right? And I still have not sewn my facet kit. It's just hanging around as a chain on and off piece. So I get a piece done every here and there. Oops. Make sure all these edges line up. This one I only put in 3 pins. Making sure I ease in that fullness. And now we sew straight to the end. Okay. I thought I saw pins right here. And then this other one needs to be pressed so it can be sewn to the other one that's in front that I already had when I started tonight. So I gotta sew this one. It's got pins in it. Need to press this sashing though. Whoa. I put this seam ripper up with the ripper out. Press this one. I got so much strings on this on this steam press cover. I have cleaned this thing off numerous times. It does collect a lot of strings. All right, may as well pin this one. And then we add our last 3 blocks on the ends of these. Those are my rows all done when I get through with this. Are you all sleeping out there? This is the quietest that the chat has been, and I know it's not a noisy chat. That chat doesn't. But that's just the quietest I've ever seen the chat comments. I think you all are tired too. Mario says, I saw some beautiful cave fabric at my local fabric store. $28 a yard. Ooh, that's ridiculous. I saw somebody had put on Facebook, and I don't know if it was real or not, but they had African print fabric in Joann's, and it was like $29 a yard. It's like, nope, too expensive for me. Stephanie says, T, I noticed you pin from the inside to the outside of the quilt block versus outside to the inside of the block. Is that just the way you like to do it? Or does it hold the fabric tighter? You know, sometimes being left-handed has its advantages. It's because I'm left-handed that I'm pinning that way. But also I get more stabilization. I can sometimes put my pins back further, the pin tips, because I've got the actual pin laying on the fabric, so it prevents a lot of the fabric from moving. I'm actually touching more fabric. So it's beneficial, but it's because I'm left-handed. It's just easier for me to pull out since I'm using my left hand. But that's why. And I get caught with that sometimes when I'm teaching, because I'll show somebody how to pin something and they go, I can't pin it like that. And I'm like, oh, I forgot. I'm left-handed. So good observation, Stephanie. So it's just that, you know, I put them out here. If I'm right-handed, it's just awkward sometimes for me to pull. I do so many things right-handed. Like I still use my computer mouse like a right-handed person would. And the reason why I did that, and it's also because of keying. Like when I used to, me being a numbers person, I used the 10-key calculator a lot. And I can key with my right hand and I can write with my left. I don't have to put my pencil down to write down my numbers, so it makes me faster. So some things I do right-handed and other things I don't do right-handed. Let's see. It's causing sewing and not, it's called sewing and not chatting much tonight. You got that right, Diane. Jennifer says, I'm sewing and letting you do the chatting tonight. Remo says, yes, I was at Joann's today, $29.99. I'm like, what is wrong with Joann's? Nobody, you can get that all day online for cheaper, anywhere. Even with shipping included. I don't know how they're going to sell that fabric. It's got to be somebody that's desperate. That's all I can say. Because I wouldn't buy 1 yard. June says, I'm sewing as well tonight. Janice says, yes. I also saw the African fabric at the same price and not a good quality. Wow. Now that's bad. And Bonita says, I'm prepping food for hubby's Father's Day lunch. Oh, that's nice. Remo says, it feels funny. Yeah, the left-handed thing. Sheila says, that's true. That is what Joanne sells the African fabric for in Tennessee as well. And see, I wasn't sure if it was a true thing or not, if somebody had just made a meme, so that's good to know, because I told you all I haven't been really doing any shopping like that. Everything I've been doing has been online. I haven't been in the stores. If I don't need it right now today, I've been just buying it online. I have noticed, since they kind of lifted the mask laws here in our state, that a lot of people are in the stores without masks on and stuff like that too. So I still wear my mask when I go out in public and stuff. Even though I've been vaccinated, I'm like, I don't know if they've been vaccinated. So I make sure I'm covered. But it's a lot of folk in the store with so many people complaining about there isn't any virus and I'm not getting the vaccine, so I'm not trusting that you went and got it. So I guess I'll put this over my leg because this is right in the middle. I don't want it to get wrinkled up before I'm able to get it pressed. Nora says, I got the African fabric at Joann's. It's a lot cheaper. You mean you paid less money or it's cheaper quality? I don't understand how you can get it cheaper if it's $29.99. So I don't know. But a lot of these people saying it. But maybe in her area it's not $29.99. Rhonda in Remo says it smells. Rhonda says, other than thickness, how do you tell the quality, I think, of quilting fabric? Some of it can be like stiff, and it's not really sizing stiff. It just feels stiff, just a cheaper quality of threads being used. I don't like ones like, to me, this K-Facet, for high quality fabric, it frays a lot. I don't even know if you all can see some of the ends on these fabrics, but it frays a lot. And to me, I don't like when fabric does that. Now, this is high quality, and that's why I think that they could do a little bit better with their fabric. I don't know. I'm stumped on this. From cutting all those different fabrics, I'm kind of stumped, trying to figure this one out. And it's just amazing that, us quilters, we're kind of groupies of things. And even when something is wrong, we won't even call the person on it, even when they're wrong. Because I don't use it a lot. I've been collecting it for years, but I probably only made like a quilt or two with it. And so then I collect more. And then I have this collection of the fabric, and then I'm looking at how thin it is, especially compared to some of the older pieces that I had in my stash. So it's just weird. All right. I guess I could have sewed that other sashing onto the block, huh? One, I could have, because I'm going to need them on the ends anyway. Oh, well. Let's see, we'll sew those sashings onto these blocks. I still got to sew it onto that other end too, but we'll do these blocks just so we can get something on them and add them to the stack. Victoria says, I was looking for a small print Harlequin black and white fabric, but no luck here. Nora says, talking to Rhonda says, I like fabric that's straight and stable. If the weave is wishy-washy, I won't buy it. And that's another good way, because sometimes I do find that sometimes even name brand manufacturers don't put them on the boat straight. So when I press my fabrics, I always take the 2 salvages to square and line back up my outer edge for straightening, because it's not always where it was originally put. So that's another good tip. Thank you, Nora. Cheryl Beans here says, good evening, T and everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Sheila says, you can use the 50% off coupon, but that still makes it $15 a yard. Yes, and you can buy African fabric cheaper than $15 a yard as well. I bought some, and I didn't even buy it wholesale, and I was selling it for like $12 or $10 a yard, something like that. It's not that expensive, especially when you're buying it in bulk like a Joann's would. They got stores all over. So yeah, they should be paying little to nothing for that fabric. Cian Forrest is here. Hi, Cian. She says, hi, T and everyone. Thumbs up. Must be an okay fabric. Yeah, this is how the new stuff is coming out like this, Diane. The old stuff is thicker. It's very thick. And I was surprised when I was comparing the two. I did put some of the squares in my kits from my older one. And when I starch those fabrics up, you can really tell the difference between one and the other. So in the kit, I probably added about 3 of them in there. And you can really tell the difference in weight of what the old fabrics used to be when he first came out. CulturedExpressions.com has quality African fabrics for great prices. You can do a virtual shop for 30 minutes, up to 4 people at a time. Darlene goes, yes, I like those blocks you're working on, although they are a pain, laughing out loud. Yes, trying to square them up, child. Wow, I'm sure late tonight, been embroidering my brains out and forgot about time. That's from Cian. No problem. At least you're working, doing something. Helena says to Mario, try on lines at Joann's. This is what I got from, and it stopped. I think she was trying to put a link, but if you're not a moderator, you can't put a link, I don't think. I don't know, maybe. Nora says, no, it's fake kente cloth, their own designs with faces or maps of the African continent and other African American, not African, up to $12.99 like the other cottons, not great quality. You may have mentioned it, but did you finish the t-shirt quilts? I finished the tops of the t-shirt quilts in the Tuesday live. I just made it a sew and chat on Tuesday instead of just talking. So I did finish those quilts. I've got the backs ready for them. I even washed the backs, and I got a video coming out about why I washed the backs. And then I got those ready, and I got a quilt, my customer's quilt that needs her quilt this week because she's going out of town to visit her daughter, the quilt for her daughter that she's not going to be on earth that much longer. So that's where I'm at. That's what's going on my frame tomorrow. The t-shirt quilts, I found out they're not actually due until the end of July, early August. So I don't know why I thought it was the end of June. So it's not really an end of June deadline, but I'm still going to go ahead and quilt those next once I finish this customer's quilt. You know, I was working on doing the t-shirt orders that I had gotten. So I got those out, and then I cleaned it all up, and then my mom comes with, can you make me a t-shirt? So I had to pull all that stuff back out. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff I have to pull out when I'm making t-shirts, especially the more colors I'm using, the more product and stuff I'm pulling out. Roberta says, hi, T and my Teaquilter friends. Hi, Roberta. The African fabric was probably marked up for Juneteenth. You got that right. They're going to keep it too with people buying it. I get African fabrics from the Quilted Fox. Another good place is Saturday at the Soulard Market. Happy, her name, always has good fabric 6 yards for $40. And that's what I was saying. You buy the whole, you have to buy the whole 6 yard cuts. That's how they come packaged. And when you buy the whole 6 yard cut, they are a lot cheaper. And then you can go and sell that. I sold mine for like $10 a yard, and that's what you kind of do. But nobody is paying $29.99 for some fabric. So, Roberta, I didn't know you was in this area. That's pretty cool. I have gone down to Soulard on the Saturdays and saw some of the African vendors. They have African clothing down there as well that you can buy that's already pre-made and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool to go walk around down there. Sue says, do you need some African fabric at Teaquilts? I might have some. Happy to share. Do I need any African fabric? No. Will I take African fabric? Yes, but I don't need any. It's just that I love African prints, and somebody else was mentioning the price at Joann's before you came in, seeing that's why we're talking about it. I got the piece back here that one of my customers, not my customers, one of my Teaquilters sent to me. Sitting right here, it's beautiful. Can't wait to use it. It's got like a textured background, which isn't showing up in the camera probably, but it is so cute. Love it, I love it. I have a lot of African fabric. I just have not been using it because it's not convenient for me to get to it. And Cheryl's asking, Roberta, where is that located? Soulard Market, that's in St. Louis, downtown St. Louis, or it's really like south side of St. Louis because it's where it turns. It's kind of a weird angle, but it's more downtown South St. Louis area. Rhonda says they know they are selling inferior fabrics. They're taking advantage of their loyal customers. Diane says, I need a t-shirt for 2021 Houston Quilt Festival. Okay, you email me that. I have nothing over here, Diane. You have to email me that because it just makes it easier for me to invoice people back, and then trying to come up with something like what's going to be on the shirt and things like that, so I can like do a price and all of that kind of stuff before I start making a shirt. I bought a bunch for a project, then never made it. Gorgeous stuff, yes. That's beautiful fabric. Thank you all. Diane said that too. Cheryl Bean says, I'm in St. Louis. Okay, the Quilted Fox is online. The Quilted Fox is online, but they also, I just heard too that the Quilted Fox is going to have to move. The building that they're in is being torn down, and we're not sure if they're like rebuilding that building or doing something else, but I kind of love the character of that building, so it's going to be interesting to see what they put back in place of that building. So all the tenants in that building where the Quilted Fox is are going to have to move, and I don't know what they've decided or when that's going to happen or anything like that, so I got to do more follow-up on that. Quiltogram says, I ordered 2 bags of batik mystery bags from Hancock's. It was all so beautiful. Thanks for showing me those weeks ago. You're welcome. I enjoyed opening those. I was pleasantly surprised at the number of batik fabrics, and it wasn't what I consider called the cheap batiks, where it doesn't look the same on both sides. So I love those Hancock grab bags. Janice Miller says, Quilting with Soul here in San Diego has a great selection. Diane says, okay. Betsy says, Quilted Fox is near Frontenac, but their newsletter says they will be moving, yes. So, yeah. And I went in there, like, Kevin and I went in there like a month or so ago, and there was no mention of it then. So it was just, to me, it was all sudden. So I hope they're able to get a good location, because the nice thing about Quilted Fox is its location. There isn't another shop like that's open right in that area, and then they're also in like a prestigious area where um, people with money people with money live. And I like the Quilted Fox because they have a lot of ethnic fabrics. They were the first ones to be bringing African, Australian, uh, Japanese type prints to us. So I have always liked that about the Quilted Fox. Plus, they still have, you know, the other fabrics. And anytime new books came out, you get discount on all books, no coupons needed. So that was always nice. So I hope it works out for them. And then, you know, sometimes, you know, things like this happen. The owner is, you know, she's 60s plus. You know, you have to worry about whether or not the shop might close under those conditions too. You never know. So I hope she does move and that she doesn't close. I remember when we lost another quilt shop or sewing shop, Winston's Fabrics. They still are doing online fabric sales. They just closed the local in-house store, so they do everything from home. So you don't know what's gonna happen. We're all just kind of waiting, praying that it works out for her in any decision that she makes. Kim Burris is here reminding people to hit the thumbs up, everyone, share and subscribe my channel and ring the notification bell so you will get the notifications. Thank you, Kim. Just pinning these to get them out the way. One more sashing on this one, and then I got to put sashing on the other three on the other side. June says my quilt shop here in town is trying to sell out just to close. Wow. So I guess they haven't put stuff on sale announcing they're closing. They're just not buying anything else, I guess. Sometimes people lose their rent space because of competitors coming in wanting the space and they can't afford to pay like triple the rent, you know. That happened to Cloth World. That's why they started making standalone buildings instead of being in malls where they were attached to something else. Same thing happened to the Walgreens, I feel, because they did the same thing too. Is it just me or is the sound lower tonight? I'm struggling to hear. Let me see. I don't know. I can cut it up a little bit. Let me see if I get the plus button. I just knocked it up 3 notches. We'll see what that does. Do Yoder says watching with one eye open. I'm trying. Yes. Brenda Foley says I love my Bluetooth earbuds in. I hear fine. Okay, so let me cut this down one notch at least. I don't want to be blasting people's ears. Jennifer says, I am so glad I read my notifications and found you tonight because I'm just sewing away. Probably would have gone to bed early and watched the Teaquilts rerun. Ha! Getting stuff done, Jennifer. Roberta's talking to Shelbeen. If you ever get to St. Louis, let me know. I like to start at the top of Lindbergh and just go down the road. I start at Boutiques Plus and end up at Joann's. I hit 6 shops. Yes, that's a nice thing about, we do have a lot of places where we can get good fabric here. So Diane says it's lower. Sin says better. Thanks, sound much better. So let me put it back up then because I didn't want to blast out one person's earbud. I'll go back up that one. OT, no, let her turn it down, her earphone. Okay. You must live close to me. I live near Jackman's. So I think I just pinned these two. And William just came in, and you know I ain't even finna mess with your last name, right? Even I talked to him through Facebook Messenger, and I had him say his name like 3 or 4 times, and I still could not pronounce his name. It is hilarious. And I mentioned it to Kevin, and Kevin thought he was pronouncing it correct. I said, nope, it sounds nothing like how it looks. He says, lucky day for me to catch the live high tea quilters, and is the pattern available? No, the pattern for this is not available. It was like from my friend. It came out of the book Modern Quilts 2. No, not Modern Quilts 2. Material Obsession 2. It's out of a book. So I don't have the pattern. I never did have the pattern. I was trying to find the book, but she happened to have copied the pattern and she put it in the kit box. So that's all I have is just the papers, and they're not in very good condition. They're not very good photocopies. Dolores says the sound was low to me also, so hopefully that worked. I did knock it up 3 notches now. So you all have to let me know if I need to make adjustments, because I can't hear it. Once I plug into that iPad, I can't hear it. And I don't want to wear earbuds to hear myself, because you all are delayed. My phone is so far behind what I'm actually doing, so I would be really messing up. Not that I don't mess up now, but it would really be a mess. So, welcome to the chat, sir. William forgot to say he's in Australia, so I don't know what time it is or what even day it is in Australia. Australia's so far away, sometimes we're on different days. And then depending on what part of Australia too, I guess. Sure, they got time zones too. I gotta ease this seam in right here. Had to go up under there, move my little sashing piece. Do Yoder goes, everyone's trying to pronounce William's last name. That is funny. Janice says, I have no sound. Marie says, T, are you someone that quilt for someone? No, it's going to be a quilt for me, just as a memory quilt for my friend, since I took it from her stash. I just wanted some of her UFOs. So I just took them, but I had no idea. I've never seen these things, so I don't have any idea how long ago she had cut these. I know that she had an AccuQuilt Go system, but these weren't cut by a Go system. So I'm just making it as a memory quilt. Because I don't put stuff back, I have to go fishing. Okay. Cheryl says to Roberta, I've been to St. Louis once and loved it. I would definitely be going again. Next time I'll try and hit all of them quilt shops. And then Mario says, wow, I'm moving to St. Louis. I just had to look at Boutiques Plus website. Amazing at excellent prices. And that's where you can get the boutique scrap bags, where you go in and you get a bag and you fill it and you can buy stuff. And I saw one girl when we were at retreat, on the retreat video, she had 3 bags that were sealed. So now they must be selling just boutique bags that are sealed or something, because that was different than what I had noticed before. So they just opened back up. Some days they still have scheduled for people that are have high compromise systems where you have to make an appointment. Their hours are still shorter, but they have open to the general public on some days and hours where you don't have to make an appointment. So that's good, because I don't like making appointments. I just like having to feel like I want to go to the quilt shop and just walk around, and then I just go. Or if I'm in the neighborhood, I go to the quilt shop. So it's good that they're opening back up. Stephanie says, T et al. Questions about thread. Do you have thread color cards? And if so, are they true to color? I'm thinking of getting one for Superior Threads. I have the threads that I use for Superior, King Tut, Bottom Line. It's one other one. I might have rainbows. I do have all of their thread cards, and they are true to color. It's actual thread. It's not a color photocopy. It's actual thread. So yes, it's true to color. I also have bought a Kona color card. It's not, is it fabric? I can't remember. I think it is fabric. They're some of them more expensive when they're actually fabrics or the actual threads, but they are true to color. So I would say yes. Betsy, Mario is wishing. He's in Canada. William says it's Sunday, and the time is 1:22 p.m. And the easiest way to pronounce my name is to put an A after M instead of an H. Malunga. Laughing out loud. Love you guys. Happy quilting. Thanks. I might have to get the book. You're welcome. Thanks, William. And see, I keep wanting to put the H in there, but make the H a A. And I still ain't said it right, okay? I'm telling you all, it's a little bit more complicated than that. And then to have his accent too, I just love talking to him. I've talked to him a couple of times in video chats. Very nice guy. His sewing and fabric stash looks just like mine. Ooh, we are a hot mess. T, that's what I thought. That's Bessie talking about Boutiques Plus. She says and then yes, that they sell online. Yeah. Wash Your Hand says, I love Superior Thread. Or should I just say my Janome loves Superior Thread? Laughing out loud. Yep. Boutiques Plus is a nice shop. Jane works there part-time. And she's also, I'm one of the lady that does all the intricate piece patterns that she had at our quilt retreat. She was showing, I'm blocking the lady's name right now. A quilter that makes those complicated patterns. Jane's she's a certified instructor of teaching that too. So it's pretty cool. All right, so pink to the left. Let's see what this one is. It's just a block, one block with the sashing. So I can just sew that on. When I'm trying to chain piece and talking and chatting, I'm just sewing blocks in a row with sashing. It looks more complicated than it actually is. Mario says, Boutique Plus, $82 for shipping, 10 yards of fabric. Wow. Shipping can be a pain. Quiltigram, what is the size of that quilt? I don't know. These blocks are 15 inches. I got 12 blocks. Sashing is 3 inches. it's not huge. So 45 inches without sashing for just the blocks. The blocks are 15 inches. You can add sashing any size you like. I was surprised they used 3 inches instead of 2 or something, but it doesn't matter. It looks good with 3 inches, but I was just surprised because the cut instructions were like 1 and 2 inches, and then the sashing was 3. And here I am using these crazy pins again. Going clear across my body again. Apparently I didn't learn a thing. No, it's not Bonnie Hunters. It's these people, they're curved stars and kaleidoscope type things. That's an extra $8 a yard. Crazy. Yep. And I think the problem with trying to do international shipping is that you got so many places that they can ship to internationally, so the prices are all different. I find the worst place to ship to is Trinidad. It's higher. It has the highest shipping of anything I've ever shipped, and it has the slowest ship time. Sometimes it can take 6 months for you to get your packages in Trinidad. Okay, I don't know what their government, what the government is doing, holding the mail or what, but it can take 6 months. So, and thinking of Trinidad, I had somebody that used to be in our chat. She hasn't been in here in a while. I'm gonna have to contact her, see if everything's okay. Her husband had passed, and haven't heard from her. She told us that her husband had passed, but I haven't heard from her in a while. So I hope she's still able to watch. Oh, this is just hanging out here because it needs to be sewn. Keeps getting ignored. Let me put you down so I can start pressing when I get over there. Judy Niemeyer. Thank you, Roberta. That's exactly who I'm talking about. And Boutiques Plus shop is a certified, it's a certified shop for selling her patterns and all of that. So it's pretty cool. Teresa says, I've got to hit the hay. Thank you, T, and good night to all. Good night, Teresa. Thank you so much. I understand that, T, but Canada is the U.S. best friend and so close. I understand that, but when you start mailing packages, especially if it's a priority package, I know when you had ordered the foot things, I think it went for like, I think it was like close to $30 in shipping. But if I tried, and that was just first class mail, and if I tried to send it priority, it was giving me like 70 something dollars to send to you priority mail. And boutiques, most people are shipping purchases by priority mail only because it's insured. And that's why I started shipping priority mail only, because first class mail can get lost, but when it goes to other countries, then I have to revert back to just first class mail because the shipping is so much on the priority mail for that. So that might be how they're sending it. And it does go by the size of the package, so how it's packaged, like what size those measurements are, and then it also goes by the weight and how far it's traveling. So those 3 factors are taken into account in the shipping price. And there's nothing that we can do about them. So we punch it in, and there's no way we can know ahead of time until that whole package is packaged up, ready to go. And so even the number that they're giving you, they might still come out short and have to pay shipping because they're doing an average. They've weighed fabric, like how much it would probably cost to send 5 yards, and then what we do is we tend to average the rest of it out over that based on how much that 5 yards may cost. We'll divide that by 5 and then use that number and measure. So every time somebody orders a yard, it'll add a number. So it's just, shipping is difficult to pre-calculate. I'm gonna need that right away. So I just did this one. I need to put the sashing on the other end, I think, and this row will be done. So I have sashing, that's the top row over there, because I got the sashing on top and bottom on that one. That's good. Press this seam. And also, you got to remember, Boutiques Plus is a small business, whereas big business, or even like a place like Hancock's or Paducah, they can ship and take the loss in shipping because of the volume of stuff that they sell. Boutiques Plus is not shipping out like that. If they did, they'd have just people working the shipping department, and they don't. They do have, the back part of their room is a warehouse where all of their fabrics are on shelves. They do a lot of online sales, but not at the volume of somebody like Hancock's or Paducah that has like crews of people working to get your orders out. It's just a little different when you are a small business, but they do, I'm pretty sure they do very well, because they were not open to the public at all at one point. Like when they first came to St. Louis, they weren't even open to the public. You had to order all online, and I don't like just online only sales, especially when it's local. So I didn't do a whole lot of early purchases with them. Okay, so this is the other one that's on there. Yes, it is Judy Niemeyer. The log cabin is my next project. That's Helena. All right. Mario says, when the border reopens, I will get a mailbox in Plattsburgh, New York. Have stuff shipped there and go get it once a month. Like, yep, that's your best bet. Lynette Williams says, hey, everyone, I got on here in the beginning and my sister called. She was fighting sleep on the line. Had to talk her awake. Both of us can't wait to get off work. Yes. That's probably why you haven't heard from her. My friend died last Sunday, and I could not bring myself to talk to anyone. Giving her a call is a good idea. Lets her know you're thinking of her. Yeah. I hope that's not it, though. But I do understand, like, most times when somebody is on my mind, I tend to go ahead and make the phone calls, because a month or two later, you just never know. It might not be good news. So I try to contact people when I think about it. I try to make a little time for stuff like that. So, and also, if anybody wants to send get well cards to June Hansen or Ellen Campbell, you all can email me too and let me know if you want to send cards. So I know I normally like send cards when people are like seriously ill, like medical conditions that can't be fixed per se, but if you all want to, you can just let me know. I'm not gonna request it, but you can. All right. And Cheryl saying to Diane, sorry to hear about your friend. Keep talking, T. I'm getting a first-rate education on fabric and sources, my dear. Thank you. Thank you, Cheryl, from Diane. That's very kind of you. My condolences too, Diane. Sorry about that. June Hansen says sorry as well. Seeing Forrest, my heart goes out to you, sweetie. And do we just email you? You can email me if you have a question. You can email me or you can, if you want to send a card to somebody, you can just send it to me through my P.O. box. The address listed in any of my videos is actually a P.O. box. You can just change the street address and just say P.O. box 38205, St. Louis, Mo. Zip code is 63138. But you can email me anytime as well at teaquilts@teaquilts.com. Because if you're sending a card or something, then that would need to be that would have to be forwarded on to them. So you would have to mail it to me. I don't give out people's private addresses unless they say it's okay for me to give out their private addresses. What I do is I just collect the stuff and then I'll forward it to them. It just depends. Okay, so I think all three of these rows need one piece of sashing on the left hand side of the row. So I wasn't in a hurry to sew anything tonight. I really didn't even want to sew, but this at least gets this project moved one step closer, and I didn't just chat. So I'm glad to get something done over nothing. So, and then tonight too, I had to do a lot of pinning, so that slows everything down. When I was making the blocks, I didn't have to pin, but I am having to make this sashing fit so I can make sure these blocks are as square as possible as I'm putting them together. Sorry to hear about your friend, Diane. That's from Stephanie. She's Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilter. And Mario says kind hugs for you, Diane. Yeah, it's hard when you have a friend that passes, and especially if you didn't even know they were sick or something. It just makes it seem unreal, like you're always looking for them where you would normally see them. Thank you all. She was like a little sister to me. It's hard to lose those younger than you. Yeah. Helena says, my little dog ruptured a disc in her back. Wow, she had surgery yesterday. $1,500 well spent. I hope she's healing well. That's awful. Prayers for you too, Elena, on her healing. Aw. You are so kind. We spent thousands on our 2 dogs in the past. Yep, a lot of people would just put their dogs down, so that is really nice. Okay. What time is it? 10:44. Almost. 15 more minutes. Okay. So, last step is for these 3 rows is to put one on the end. I forgot about that. So we make that correction now. And then next time we sew, we'll be working on the sashing rows. That should go really fast. As far as making the sashing rows, because they're just 3-inch finished sashing. And then maybe even start sewing the rows together. So I'm going to have to do a lot of pinning because I'm pinning now. So I already know it's going to take a while. It's going to be a slow process when you've got to pin and match everything up. So, but it is what it is. So I can also pin this one that needs it. And then the one on the machine needs to be pressed and then a sashing put onto it as well. I got to turn this around so sashing side is up. Sashing side is down. I want to make sure I'm putting the fullness to my feed dogs. I'm hearing fireworks again. Whew. And see how this piece is so much taller? This is what I've been dealing with when I was piecing. The pieces just weren't cut right. And I might just trim that off so I'm not trying to use that as my seam allowance. Because it's not. Trim a little bit of that off and put this pin back a little bit. My trimmings are falling out of the trimmings bag. I gotta go dump it into the big bag. I keep those, for people that don't know, I keep all my trimmings for my friend who makes the large dog beds for the Humane Society rescue groups. They say that they don't hardly get donations for large dog beds, and so she just puts any scraps. It could be even fabric you no longer use or that is ugly fabric, or I even give her lining fabrics because I used to sew clothes and had a lot of it. And she just puts that in for stuffing. So it doesn't matter what I give her. She takes it all. And then I also give her bigger pieces once in a while too, so she can use those to make the actual beds with. And I don't know what size she makes, so I've never made them. So I'm no help there. But I do know that nothing fabric related goes in the trash here, so that's good. So that's one. I gotta take this one off and press it so I can add the final sashing that goes on this one. It's 10:48, so maybe I'll finish. I got 2 more sashings that need to be done. June says, I guess it's time to stop sewing on the wrong side of fabric, laughing out loud. Today was the first day that I felt like sewing. Well, that's good. Good for you. Ooh, I'm excited. This coming Friday, our quilt shop will open back up. I'm so happy to hang out with some quilty people. Yes. Mario's asking, can we get a few more thumbs up, please, before we go? Yes, thank you. Diane says, I knew she had cancer, but she was always saying that she is getting better, so it was a shock when she passed. Yes. And she is still in the doggy hospital. That's what I was wondering, if she was home or resting there. So that's good. They can watch her overnight. I know you miss her, though. Expected to come home Monday. Love my 2 dogs. Yes. I missed some comments, so I just had to go back up there and get them. Sorry for your loss. Have you heard from Kathy? I've not heard anything from Kathy. Glad that June's home and sewing. Quilty Graham, my best friend, passed 5 years ago. She had chronic illness, but was under control. She passed unexpectedly. She was 8 years younger than me. Prayers and condolences to you, Diane, 57. No, I haven't tried to reach her with Messenger. No, I haven't, but tried to reach her with Messenger. No luck. Okay, so she's talking about Kathy. Can she use old clothes too? That's my brother. I hadn't even thought about that, but the thing with old clothing is like all buttons and zippers, all that stuff has to be cut off. So I guess it could, like if you cut the leg parts off, I guess it could be put into the dog bag. I'll check with her. That's a good question. I hadn't even thought of that. So if it's clothing that can't be donated somewhere and it's going in the trash, to me that would make sense too, but I'll email her and ask her. So that's a good question. I don't see why not. Yeah, this is the one that needs the sashing on the other end. I'm trying to fold it up. Maybe we won't get done tonight, right? I'm losing my cornerstones now because I didn't need them tonight. I'll put you over there. They're trying to get into my quilt top before it's sewn. Okay. So I got another piece on this that's longer than all the other pieces as well. Yes, old clothes, working dog bags too. That's Diane. I'll have to, I don't know, it's not that they just will work, but I want to make sure she'll take it, I guess. Because I don't want to collect it because I'm not making the bed, so I'm going to check with her to see if she will accept old clothing. And if she wants to, you know, if she wants to go through that process of cutting parts off that can't be in the bag, because if a dog gets a hold of it, it, you know, might digest something they shouldn't have. So that's all. That makes great sense that that's a great use of what to do with them, but does she want to do that? All right. So I had 2 pieces pinned. Just got to find it. It's right here. This one's already sewn. So we'll just make it, huh? And I'm going to go ahead and cut the thread after this. I'm not even going to chain because I've still got to come in here. I thought I was coming back in here Tuesday and sewing some more, and I did not. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the thread because I'm going to have to oil when I come back anyway. So that's one. And this is the last one for right now. It's never the last one, is it? And I will, I'll show this pattern. I don't know if people are still around. It's supposed to have appliques and stuff put on top in different color K fabrics, but I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I haven't decided yet. I kind of like it without it. So we're getting closer to having to make that decision soon. Within the next few weeks, I'll have to make that decision. But this is, like I said, they're just bad pictures. But this is what it's supposed to look like, although she didn't add like those appliques on the outer border. She didn't have those in the packet, so I don't have those shapes, and it's not that I like them anyway. But I know I can do circles, any size circle. So I was thinking about putting the circles on it, but I'm not really sure. So you all let me know what you all think of this. Should I just leave it plain like back there? Or should I put the applique onto here? I'm just getting it close so you all can get really good look at it. It's like it's a tree and then like a daisy flower. So that's what I'm working on. And it's called Charlotte Sometimes. Let's see. Good night, Sheila. June says, I sent Kathy a text on Monday, didn't hear back. Diane says, I have big dogs and they love old clothes to sleep on. Thanks, I'm worried about having to go through that again. That's Brenda talking to June. Take a break, T. No appliques. Cian says, wow, that's a lot of work. Diane says, I will measure my dog's bed so you will know what size to make for big dogs. I'm not making them, Diane. I don't need it. I'm not making them. My friend, I save it for people that do make them. So I don't need it. But if somebody wants to do it here, you have to contact the Humane Society. Like the place where you donate, they have cages set up particular sizes. That's why they ask for quilts or beds in particular sizes, because of how the cages are set up. So I would recommend contacting your local chapter before you make the large dog beds. I know the small little quilts that we make, they're like 12 by 18 for the small dogs. Diane says, I read that one. Lynette says, nice. Darlene Kreisman said, that's a lot of applique. I like it plain. Lynette says, yep, lots of work. June says, plain, thank you. Deborah says, good night. Good night, Deborah. Thank you for coming in here tonight. So, yeah, so that's where I'm at with this project is, you know, I like it, sort of like the applique because it's different, but I don't know if it, like, really does anything to the quilt. It just makes it look so busy to me. I like that it's different, and that's all I can get out of it. Because once I sewed this part together and actually saw it, I'm like, I actually just like it like that. It just looks like a modern Begone surround quilt. So, yeah. Sin4 says, time for this old hag to hit the sheets. Nifty night all, thumbs up. It really helps T's channel. Please show your support. Thank you. Thank you, Sin. Appreciate you coming in, helping out. And I'm going to just stack these back up here on this heat thing. And whoops, if the weight will let it stay, and press them all again at the same time. Okay. Like I did before. And then I'll be finished with this. June Hanson said, oh, she's talking to Brenda. Diane says, not you, T, others were asking. Okay, and may want to make a few good, because I know I'm not making them. I guess I should know the sizes, but I don't know if it's like a standard size for all of the shelters or not. So, but that's nice of you, Diane. Appreciate that. Or, like I said, you can always look online. I found that your animal shelters have lists of things that they will accept, and it's some things that you wouldn't think they would need for animals that they will accept. And so you should always look online to see if it's things that you're tossing that can be gone to the animal shelter. Old blankets and stuff like that. They take old towels. They take a lot of things that you're not thinking about that an animal shelter can use. So, and then you just, call them up and let them know you're going to drop some stuff off. It's a long list. I was surprised. So, oops. I turned around, all of my stuff fell down. That's funny. I guess I'll iron them one at a time. Fold them up. So yeah. So just 3 blocks in a row with 4 pieces of sashing is all that we did today. And this is at a point too where I don't even have to do any more work for the next week because of where we're stopped. So we'll just come back and make the sashing rows for the sashing rows that go in between the block rows with the cornerstone. So we'll be making these next time. So that'll be easy sewing, and then we may even start sewing them onto these pieces here. So just pressing and folding them up nice and neat. Trying to find the end that needs pressing. And I guess I could show you all when I put the sashing on that they are lined up. It's not puckering any of that, and that's because I pinned. Pinning will do a lot for you, and then also that final press. The fan's getting my hold of my blocks here. But yeah, so pressing and how you pin makes a big difference on how you're going to ease something in. And then I also put the largest piece next to the feed dog. So just some sewing tips for you in the future if you ever have that issue. And again, I was about a 1/2 inch, up to a 1/2 inch short on some pieces. Some of them fit perfect. Some of them may have only been a 1/4 of an inch. But when you're easing in, especially more than a 1/4 of an inch, you need to make sure that you're equally spacing it so that it's not going to end up puckered. And I always pin in like 2 inches, 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch to 2 inches from both sides, and then I ease in the middle so my edges are not going to be pulled. So, and Diane's saying, yep, old tiles for baths. Yep. Maybe a pop of color in an outer border. Yeah, I don't know what I think I kind of like the circles, so I was thinking maybe I'll look and see about putting some large circles. I think they use like a 3.5 or a 4-inch finished circle or something like that. I have some pieces that would make bigger circles, and I'm wondering if like a big circle, since it's the green makes a circle in here. I'm wondering, I'll just look and see if maybe I have a facet that's mostly green in it, and see if I can use that, because I don't think I have enough of this green here. And maybe just see what big circles in the border would look like. But when we get to that, I'll make that decision too. Where's the pattern for the pin cushion? It's in the video. You have to watch the video. Just search Teaquilts cube pin cushion, and it'll come right up for you. All the sizing, what the original size was, what things I changed, all of that stuff is in that video. That's a really nice pattern. That's from Brenda. Thank you. It's not mine, but thank you. Nora says, are you saying always put the largest piece next to the feed dog? If you are easing in, that's absolutely correct. So pretty. Love the fabric. Thank you, Lynette. T, thank you for the tip to use the pen for getting points to come out correct. Still not 100%, but about 90% better. And that's what she was doing it with paper piecing. And then you think you can just lay it down and sew. You got to pin those points. So I'm glad it's getting better for you. Jennifer says, bigger on bottom. She uses bob or bias on the bottom. That's true too, because the feed dogs help to eat up the extra length. Yes, and the top doesn't feed. It feeds a lot slower. The bottom will bite more. Whatever next to your feed dogs will bite and grab more within that space. And it nothing puckered. I have not one pucker from easing my stitching in, because I had the seam allowance on the bottom and my ends are nice and square. So I'm actually squaring this quilt up as I'm putting this sashing on, because the block pieces were not cut correctly. That's why I measured the sashing to make sure that it was cut correctly before I started sewing the block. So I'm using the sashing to actually like block my quilt as I'm sewing it together. It does take a lot longer, but having sashing and cornerstones is a great way to make sure that when you're doing like sampler quilts, things like that, where you've got different pieces, so in each block, and sometimes the more pieces you have in a block, your block may come out either a little bigger or a little smaller. Just depends on how you're using quarter inch or your scant quarter inch. So sashing and cornerstones have to block all of that back into place. So great tip, Jennifer, about the bias too. That's gonna be it, guys. It's 11:05 now. We have finished our task for this week. I thought I was gonna have this part done too, but that's okay. We definitely can do this. It'll be quick next week, and then also start sewing some of those on. Like I've got the top and bottom sashing rows put onto this row. So we're basically going to be doing this. We won't put it on the top. We'll just be adding them to the bottoms as we go along. So that's going to be it for tonight. You all stay blessed, be safe, and quilt out, guys. Thanks for your support. So put the piece I have to stretch out on the top. You should put your bias on the bottom or your largest piece. If you're stretching something out, you're doing a stretch through the pinning. So you shouldn't be pulling anything when you're sewing. It's already pinned. That's why I pinned. So I'm not stretching anything. Good night, guys.